The Residue Tillage Specialist, or RTS, combines years of knowledge gained from conventional and conservation farming, as well as direct seeding methods. The RTS is a tool that meets the most stringent of conservation standards, combined with conventional control of yield-limiting factors, while replacing several of your standard implements. The Salford RTS will bring unmatched performance to your farm, no matter what type of operation you own. The RTS is a vertical tillage and residue management tool. It has been designed to create a blanket for the seedbed without forming a secondary density layer, which slows the growth of the plant's root system. The most important function of the RTS is residue management. Residue management includes the reduction in size, uniform distribution, and conditioning of previous crop residues. The sizing of residues into smaller, more manageable pieces is necessary to enable planting and seeding equipment to accurately place seeds in firm soil, with good seed-to-soil contact. Sizing of residue is accomplished with 1.75-inch coulters on 7-inch spacing, combined with a rear-mounted, heavy-duty 14-inch spiral roller. Spring mountings make the pressure exerted by the rollers completely adjustable. Residue distribution includes the uniform distribution of clumps or bunches left on the field from harvest or primary tillage operations. This function helps to release excess soil moisture and increase soil temperatures in the seed zone, thus improving germination rates and uniformity. In conventional and conservation tillage, the main function of the coil-tine harrow is surface leveling. The soil is loosened by the 1.75-inch coulter system and leveled by the coil tine, with leveling performance very close to that of a field cultivator. Conditioning of residues is the main function of the heavy-duty spiral roller. As the residues trickle through the coil tine harrow, they are grabbed by the roller and crushed, very similar to the action of a hay turner. The aggressiveness of the roller often further resizes the stems into smaller pieces. The roller is also responsible for bringing residues in contact with soil, which contains the organisms responsible for residue breakdown. In zero-grade rice production, it is advantageous to incorporate the rice straw as soon as possible after harvest. Left untouched, the bright straw reflects the heat from the sun, and the field is slow to dry, resulting in longer turnaround times between crops. Soil, fully saturated with water, cannot be compacted, making it possible to incorporate the rice stubble while the fields are still flooded. Few tillage machines are capable of performing in these severe conditions. The RTS has been designed to provide the highest level of performance at the lowest possible cost per acre in all conditions. The patented Coiltech coulter system has a long history of reliability with very low maintenance costs. The coulter systems are individually mounted on a heavy spring coil with 8 inches of vertical travel. The coulters are also swivel mounted, which provides the RTS with 2 obstacle protection systems. This combination of swivel and vertical travel allows for safe operation in stony soils at very high speeds, without fear of blade or shank failure. The coulter's main function in the system are to loosen the soil for leveling and also to provide some residue conditioning and sizing. The coulter hub and bearing are designed for severe service conditions, and the recommended service interval is after 40 hours of use. The coulter pattern is common: 4 bolts with 4-inch pilot holes, and is available from many coulter manufacturers. The second stage of the RTS system is a heavy-duty 3-bar coil tine harrow. The tine is a 1/2 inch in diameter, 20 inches in length, mounted on 10-inch spacing. The tine bars are mounted on a parallel linkage system, which has both height and pitch adjustment, providing settings for the toughest residue conditions without bunching or plugging. The heavy-duty coil tines' main function are leveling the seedbed and uniform distribution of residues. The coil tines are followed by a 14-inch spiral heavy-duty roller. This roller has two adjustable down pressure springs to ensure proper conditioning of residues in all soil conditions. These roller systems also have height adjustment settings for operations in wet or muck soil. The main function of the spiral roller is the sizing and conditioning of crop residues, and bringing those residues in contact with the soil allows soil microbes access to the stem interior for rapid digestion into plant food. One of the functions of tillage is to create and maintain a uniform level planting surface. High germination rates and rapid uniform seed germination depend on uniform planting conditions. Recent improvements in cab suspension, front axle suspension, and tire and track technology have made it possible to operate tractors in the field safely and comfortably at very high speeds. The Salford RTS is designed to match the high-speed capabilities of the tractor without risking damage or failure in any of the machine's components. Soils remain uniform, and there is no chance of creating ridges, thereby improving both field efficiency and planter efficiency. For the crop producer, this means that you can cover more acres per hour than ever before possible, thereby reducing both labor and horsepower costs. Because the tillage coulters of the RTS are moving the soil vertically rather than horizontally, field operations are possible in a much wider range of soil and residue conditions, and at much higher speeds. Soils which are still too wet for field cultivators or disc harrows can be dried out with very shallow tillage, with no fear of compaction in the germination zone. When soils are both cold and wet, the evaporation of excess soil moisture results in rapid soil warming and the ability to plant much sooner than would normally be the case. In heavy clay soils, which have a layer of crusted mud, the RTS can be used to till the crust without disturbing the cold-wet soil just below. This gives the producer the advantage of being able to prepare a seed bed without excessively drying the soil. Because the RTS has no residue limitation, it is possible to reduce the frequency and expense of primary tillage operations that were being used as part of the program to control residues. By using the RTS system in the fall after harvest, like you would use a stalk chopper, you can improve the performance of primary tillage equipment or accelerate the decomposition of crop residues to create improved no-till seeding conditions for the following crop. The RTS's broad range of uses makes it a valuable tool for no-till, conservation till, and conventional tillage crop operations. Hydraulic self-leveling frame is standard. Fine adjust single point depth control precisely controls operating depth. Nitrated rods in construction specification hydraulic cylinders ensure years of trouble-free performance. Operating speeds range from 6 to 14 miles per hour. Horsepower requirements range from 5 to 8 horsepower per foot. The development of the Residue Tillage Specialist, or RTS, is a tillage system that takes advantage of some of the lessons we have learned from no-till, conservation tillage, and conventional tillage operations. These systems are durable and reliable at high speeds, which helps to reduce the per-acre capital and operating costs. The RTS design improves seedbed conditions by releasing excess moisture while increasing temperatures in the germination zone. This results in early planting and healthier, faster emerging plants. There is little or no possibility of creating yield-robbing secondary density layers in the root development zone. Residues are sized, conditioned, and uniformly distributed, reducing the load on planting and seeding equipment. Previous crop residues remain on the surface, protecting the soil from erosion, rapid moisture loss, and heat until the crop begins to canopy. At Salford Farm Machinery, we believe that higher crop yields and higher net returns are made possible through the combination of tillage systems that reduce the number and cost of field operations, and at the same time improve the relationship between crop production and the environment.